Good evening. Hope your day went well. Thank you for taking time to be part of today's training as well. And this is the 1 month professional diploma training in peace and sustainable development. The 1 month professional diploma training is a course being offered by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management for her followers on Facebook and YouTube. And this training is offered for free. From training to certification is free. And we have started this kind of training since July, where we did training on peace education. We also did training on emotional intelligence in the month of August. In the month of September, we did training on alternative dispute resolution. And in October, we are on peace and sustainable development. Next month, which is the month of November, we'll be looking at peace and conflict management, which are the core course of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. And in all of these courses, we have had a very good number of our followers following and participating, and that has kept us going. And so, if you have been following us on YouTube or on Facebook, and you have not participated in any of this training, um, prepare to take the next training that is coming up in November, or better still, you can also prepare to take up the one that is coming in December. You can take more than one. There are some of our followers that have taken, since we started in July, they have been doing all our courses, and they're getting, uh, value for their time they spend here. So we invite you to also take advantage of this and to be part of what is happening here. We believe that the knowledge of peace will enable people to promote peace in our communities and bring the desired stability we need in our communities. That is why we are sacrificing our effort and our time to provide this training for free. So it will be good if you can take advantage of this. And of course, the certificate will help you in getting something to do to add value to your workplace and your career and all of that. So it will boost your CV, of course, and it will, because we are not doing a sham training here. The training here is well coordinated, and I'm sure that you will benefit from it. So thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training. Uh, we encourage you to invite someone, share the link with somebody, let them be part of what is happening here, so that we all can benefit from the training. So you're highly welcome to today's training, and we know that you're going to benefit a lot in today's training as well. So share the link with somebody. I invite them to be part of today's training as well, as we together go through Unit 3 of Module 6. All right. On today's training, we are going to look at post-conflict governance and reconstruction. Post-conflict governance and reconciliation. Reconstruction, rather. Post-conflict governance and reconstruction. What we're talking about here now is what takes place, what happens after conflict has taken place. What is expected to happen in military conflict comes to an end, right? We're talking about post-conflict governance and reconstruction, the activities, the steps, the actions that follows after the end of conflict is what we are looking at here. Because you will agree with me that conflict comes with a lot of consequences. It comes with a lot of, pains, comes with a lot of destructions, comes with a lot of, frustrations. And then after all the events of conflict, what happens is what we are going to look at here today. Because at the end of the conflict, there must be reconstruction. There must be a process of rebuilding. There must be a process of reorganizing the society to make sure that it functions according to the way it's supposed to be. Because when conflict happens, a lot of things go wrong. And so it's a process of restructuring, it's a process of reconstruction. That's what post conflict governance is all about. All right. So today we'll be looking at post conflict governance and reconstruction. And the first aspect we are going to look at is the aspect of governance in post conflict settings. Governance, what ought to be done in post conflict setting. All right. So it's pertinent to know that in governance in post-conflict setting is a complex and critical area of study as well as what a practice. It's not easy to carry out, governance in post-conflict. It's not always easy because it requires a lot of things: resources, energy, time, human resource to review. Do you understand? Because conflict does a lot of harms. It displaces people, scatter peoples, some may not even wish to go back to that community again, even though it may be their community, but they may not wish to go back to their own community again. Do you understand? So getting even the human resource to work to rebuild is a challenge. So it's a complex issue. And so because it involves the rebuilding of the political system, it involves the rebuilding of the social system, it will involve the rebuilding of the economic system. So it's a very, very complex problem, a complex challenge to be addressed. Governance in post-conflict setting is a very, challenging task to address in afterward. Do you understand? So after war is actually, always difficult to reorganize the society. But there are things that we need to do in post-conflict setting that has to do with governance. In conflict settings, there are things that we have to do, and one of those things that we need to do is to, carry out institutions building. Institutions building. That is establishing effective and legitimate institutions, right, that will carry out certain functions to rebuild, to reconstruct, is a very vital necessity. So, and this can include either creating new ones or reforming the old ones so that they can perform better. Let me give one example. Take, for instance, the northeastern part of the country, Nigeria, for instance. When the Boko Haram activities come to an end, what happened? As one of the aspects of post-conflict governance, there's a commission that was created known as what? The Northeast Development Commission. What is the essence of creating that commission? Is for reconstruction, is for rebuilding of that zone. Do you understand? So that's what happened. It happens in Niger Delta as well. That's in the south of Nigeria. When the issue of the militant activities come to an end, they created what we call the Niger Data Development Commission. Do you understand? So we have these commissions that are saddled with the responsibility of rebuilding. Today, I came to understand that there is also Southeast Development Commission. I have not heard. I don't know whether it's a new one, but I have not heard of it. I was just going through the restructuring activities and the reorganization of the Tinubu administration, and then I come to realize that we have the Southeast Development Commission. We have the North. It's like they also have created. I don't know that the new one because I have not heard about them. We also have the Northwest uh, Development Commission as well because we are having challenges in the Northwest as well. Then there's what we call post-conflict governance, and that has to do with the creating of new institution or what we call reforming the old ones for them to be able to function better. Do you understand? And that's what the some of these commissions stand to address because they were created for this purpose, for rebuilding, to make sure that conflict does not recur again, or they bring a system in such a way that there's kind of a presentation and the people who are accountable for certain things that are happening in the region. Do you understand? So I think and it's a good development. It's not something new. You understand? So it's a good development. It's not. They are not. It's not. It's not a useless effort. It's not a useless effort. It's not a useless step. It's a step in the right direction. It will help in building that particular region. You understand? So those regions that are receiving or are receiving a commission now to, focus on the development of that region, they are doing a lot good. Do you understand? So that's number one. Number two is the rule of law. The rule of law also must be strengthened in the post-conflict so that the rule of laws can be applied fairly, all right, and justly, so that people will not just be doing things anyhow. And when you do something that is contrary to what the law says, then you should be disciplined fairly according to what the law says. Do you understand? So when we ensure that rules are being applied fairly and consistently, then the human rights of the people are being protected, and then access to justice is also guaranteed for all the citizens. Do you understand? So the rule of law also is one of the things that we need to, strengthen after conflict. Do you understand? So another thing we need to look at in the post-conflict is security sector reform. All right, after the like for instance now the Nigerian military also ought to have done a reform so far as the Nigerian military architecture is concerned, because the conflict that happened in the northeast and in what's happening in the northwest must have corrupt the system to some extent. Uh, you know, so we need a kind of reformation. Do you understand? We need a kind of reformation and restructuring of the system to make sure that certain changes and adjustments are made here and there. Do you understand? So it is critical that we have to address these issues, right? So, but security sector must also be reformed. So, and a significant aspect of post-conflict governance is reforming the security sector to prevent a relapse into violence. Do you understand? A relapse because, like I say, that it is possible that the sector could have been or must have been, affected in one way or the other in terms of being corrupted. Do you understand? And it's possible. So that you discover that there are some people that will not want the crisis to end. There's a possibility that the crisis will resurface. Why? Because there are some people that were benefiting when the crisis were on. So ending the conflict means that their benefit comes to an end. So what it means is that they will still find a way of creating something new. You understand? So that is the reason why there must be changes, there must be reform, or some kind of even retirement. You understand? So that some people will go. If we were involved in the fighting against that insurgent as a top military ranking officer, you have to go. We have to be transferred completely from that region to another region completely. You understand? So things like that. So, but reforms needs to take place, all right? And that has to do with disarmament. It has to do with demobilization and also reintegration of the former combatants and other reforms in terms of police and military force reforms. Do you understand? So it's very important. Then we'll talk about political inclusion. Political inclusion. Okay, inclusive governance. Inclusive what governance that involves all segments of society. All right. So um, I don't know, but I can see that Tinubu is trying as much as possible to balance appointments in terms of trying to ensure that all aspects of our society are being represented in one way or the other. You understand? Of course, we have limited opportunities and it may not be as expected, but it's trying as much as possible to carry everyone along, every region along. Do you understand? If he can remember to appoint Bianca Ojukwu as a minister, then I think that he is telling us indirectly that regardless of what happened, I will still hold these people to to high esteem. Do you understand? So that's one way of inclusion. It will start from there. We start from there and then hope that one day the Southeast will also be given the opportunity to govern again. Do you understand? So that the agitation of Biafra will die off completely. Because there is no sense of belonging given to them that those agitation of Biafra are coming up here and there. Do you understand? So, but if they are given that opportunity and the sense of belonging, I think they will also reconsider the moves and the agitation, possibly, um, if that is what is possible. Do you understand? I'm not saying that that's what's on their mind, but to some extent, when you come to agree that all right, they are considering me to be part of the system, so why still praise for separation. All right, so all of those things can be considered. It's possible. So this can involve power sharing arrangements, local governance initiatives, and electoral processes that ensure broader participation. So all of these are very important. So political inclusion is very, very key. Do you understand? So political inclusion is critical. So economic recovery is another one. Economic recovery is another one. So economic stability is essential for sustainable governance. So because the economic activities are being in conflicts, economic activities are being halted. Do you understand? They are being crumbled as a result of the activities of conflicts. Do you understand? So as a result, we need to recover the economic, carry out economic recovery activities or reformations. Do you understand? So this includes creating jobs, rebuilding infrastructure, and providing basic services like economic initiatives. So all of those things can be considered. Do you understand? So this includes creating jobs, rebuilding infrastructure, and providing basic services. So this have to be done to make sure that economic activities are being, carried out and reintegrated to make sure that things are working for the nation. And then we'll talk about community engagement. Community engagement. So local communities must be involved in the governance process. Yes, as they often have unique insight into their needs and priorities. So you have to carry out the communities along, involve them into governance process. Let them also participate in policy formulations, policies that affect their lives and their priorities. Do you understand? So they know what they need the most, and they will be able to, say that which is good for them. Do you understand? So all of this must be considered. All right. So all of this must be considered. So engaging civil society organization can help bridge the gap between the government and the public. So community engagement is paramount and is key. So we must bring the communities into perspective, and I think that's the reason why the Tinubu administration tries as much as possible to give local government autonomy, so that they can bring the locals closer to governance. Do you understand? So the local government people have their autonomy, and I can see that many other states now are implementing um, a term of 3 years for the local government, unlike it was 2 years. And then now I think they have 3 years, which is reasonable enough for them to be able to carry out their function as much as possible. All right. So it's one way of bringing the communities closer to governance. Do you understand? So we'll talk about international support. It's also another aspect that is needed in the post conflict governance, international support, because in the aftermath of conflict, a lot is needed in terms of financial resources, in terms of reconstruction activities, and of course, we need the support of every segment of society to participate in the reconstruction. You can come with your skills, you can come with your finances to support the rebuilding and the reconstruction process. And of course, international aid and assistance is needed in this regard. And that's why you see in most of the situation, in the, if you go to the Northeast, you see many international organizations operating, working there, trying to help to make sure that people are also recovering. Do you understand? They are providing health services, creating economic engagement, creating jobs, and then also providing services that will get people to rebound back and then function better and rebuild their lives and then move forward with their destiny. Do you understand? So monitoring and evaluation, establishing mechanisms for monitoring and evaluating governance initiatives is essential, because if you just create systems without providing a system to monitor and evaluate what is happening in the system, then things may be going wide, or you may not be aware because there's no check and balances in the system. So monitoring and evaluation help us to be up to date with what is happening and where things are moving. Do you understand? So it can help you to redirect steps to make sure that you get to the right direction according to the plan or the development plan. So this helps to ensure accountability and allows for adjustment based on what is and what is not working. Do you understand? So what is working and what is not working, you are able to, take a step back, make a U-turn from what is not working, and focus on what is working and make it work well. Do you understand? And where things are not working and you discover that it's because you go off course, you make a U-turn and then pick from where you stop. And that's what we have in terms of monitoring and evaluation. We have what we call review, because it's a cycle. So you have to review when you implement, to see that what you implemented is in line with what has been established, or you have deviated and then you redirect your path. Do you understand? So cultural considerations. Understanding the local context, most especially, is important because it has to do, conflicts has a context where they occur. Like, for instance, now we have conflict in the Middle East, is a context. So we need to understand the workings in the Middle East. What is happening in the Middle East? What is the culture? What is the situation there? Do you understand? So the cultural aspect of it is also very important. All right. We have the Jews in the midst of Arabs. What do you expect? There may be this misunderstanding here and there. So what? How can we address this issue? So understanding the cultural context, the local context, is very, very important, including cultural dynamics and historical grievances. Historical grievances. And this is one of the things that is happening in Middle East. If some of you, if you can remember what the Holocaust is all about, if you don't know what the Holocaust is all about, go and Google it so that you understand what the Holocaust is all about. All of these are historical perspectives. Do you understand? And they are playing out even today. They are still influencing what is happening in the Middle East today. History that happened over 70 years ago is still influencing the conflict that is happening in the Middle East today. Do you understand? So, understanding the cultural dynamics and historical grievances is quite paramount to be able to address post-conflict issues. Do you understand? So, it's essential for effective governance in post-conflict settings. Solutions should be tailored to fit the specific needs and realities of the society. So solutions should not just be imagined. Solutions should not just be formulated outside of what is obtainable in the region. All right, do you understand? So it's very important we should do that. Then long-term vision. So it should not just be focused on the immediate, but what can be addressed consistently for a long time and development. Do you understand? Fostering resilience and preventing future conflicts. So while you're trying to, and I think that's the reason why some of these institutions are being established, like the Northeast Development Commission is established simply because it's not because they are established to address the immediate problem. No, the immediate problem is being addressed with a vision to continue to ensure sustainable development in the region, to take away young people from involving into activities that will bring back the conflict. Do you understand? Or what has happened in the past. Do you understand? So that's why these institutions are being established. So it's come with a long-term vision to make sure that yes, we will not just address the immediate situation, but we'll build a system that will sustain peace in our society for a very, very long time. And of course, that comes with also sustainable development. So these are the things that are expected in post conflict governance in the post conflict setting. All right, governance in the post conflict setting. These are the things that you are expected to do. We say that you do what? Ensure institution building, ensure to promote the rule of law, ensure that security sector reform is carried out, ensure that political inclusion is being, promoted, economic recovery is being, carried out, community engagement is being considered, and the international support is being welcomed. Monitoring and evaluation is being articulated to make sure that you get up to date information on what is going on and then be able to check results and see where you are going right or wrong. Then cultural considerations must also be considered. Consider the cultural affinities of the particular region you are trying to address and the people you are trying to deal with. And then, of course, long-term vision must also be considered. So these are the things that we say are being carried out or are expected to be carried out in governance in a post-conflict setting. All right. So let's look at rebuilding state institutions and public trust. Rebuilding state institutions and public trust. All right. Rebuilding state institution and public trust is a post-conflict setting. In a post-conflict setting, is a vital component of sustainable governance and stability because state institution Many of them were destroyed. Education, agriculture, infrastructure, so many of these things were destroyed. Security systems corrupted, economic activities impacted, social cohesion impacted, and this impact were negative impacts. Do you understand? So how do we rebuild and earn public trust again? How do we rebuild and earn public trust again? So one of the things that we need to do is to ensure institutional legitimacy. Institutional what legitimacy? Inclusive governance involve diverse groups in decision-making processes to ensure that all segments of society feel represented. This can help legitimize institutions and foster trust. That's why the former administration, before the Tinubu administration, did not do well in this aspect. They came and exacerbate the division that was already on ground. So it was not too good. So you can see how Tinubu is trying to balance a lot of things, but a lot has gone wrong already. Yes, you know, well, I'm not a critic of Tinubu administration. Do you understand? Because me, for one, I know that Tinubu is a capable person. Do you understand? If not because of age factor and this lack of strength to do a lot of things, he's a capable person. And a person's builder, a people's builder. Let me put it that way: a people's builder. He like building people, raising people. Do you understand? So, I, for one, I have no challenge, and I think he's doing a lot if you look at it critically in terms of trying to reunite the nation and bring the nation together when it has to do with appointment and certain activities of the government. Yes, some of the policies we may not agree with him, probably because they are too harsh on us. But the truth of the matter is that there are there are certain things that we have to bear. Do you understand? Yes, we have to bear. Do you understand? We have to bear. So inclusive governance. I'm talking about inclusive governance. That's why I'm making statement about Tinubu administration. Talking about inclusive governance. When you are when I look at some of the appointment he made, and then I can see that he's trying as much as possible to bring the nation together through you know inclusive governance. Do you understand? But there are challenges anyway. There are challenges anyway. But he's doing his best, and we give him credit for what he's doing. We hope that he will do more to unite the country and build bridges for people to go through. But one of the things that they need to do first is to organize a two national reconciliation. Yesterday, I saw something on a video, a very disturbing video online that was coming from Ebonyi State. I don't know if some of you have seen that video, and it's not encouraging at all. Yes, we can have differences, and some people, because of their way of life, they may not be able to, live a life that you expect them to live. But there's a way we can address some of those issues without necessarily addressing the way it was addressed anyway. But these are the challenges we have in this country. And when I was looking at the video, I say we need a true national reconciliation because we must come together, reconcile our differences. We must forget about our past. We must begin to trust one another. We must not see one as an enemy because this is deepening our division and it's not quite good. So inclusive government, and governance is what Tinubu is trying to achieve here. Then we talk about transparent processes, implement transparent procedures in governance, budgeting, and public service delivery to build confidence. I think they are trying to also work on these things. And you see some people have been actually the former Minister of Women Affairs. She was invited to come and defend, to appear before an oversight committee of the National Assembly. And she came, and the way she was talking, I was like, wow, why are you behaving like that? You are being asked questions based on what you have done, and then you are turning it to be as if it's a personal problem. Do you understand? And then also look at the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. A lot of things did not go well. And then also the Minister of Education. I can tell you that a lot went wrong in that ministry because and the handling of the educational system in Benin Republic and those investigations they did anyhow has also tarnished the man's image. And of course, you see what happened to him. He has to be kicked out. Do you understand? So I think because some of the processes were not done right, they didn't do it well. If you say somebody forged a certificate, what do you expect to do? A university is in question here. An individual is in question. Investigate and see critically what is going on there and look at the university that is involved. You can decide to suspend a certificate from those universities, or you can decide to just, warn people not to, get education from that university or something of that nature, or write to the Benin Republic that this is what is happening and they should take a responsibility. But you come out and then, discredit all the educational system in Benin Republic, in Togo, just because of what? So all those things were not properly handled. Do you understand? So, and I believe that his sack is based on the way he handled that issue. I am very, very sure that his sack is based on how he handled that issue. He did not do well. Do you understand? He did not do well. So what are we talking about? We're talking about implementing transparent procedures in governance, budgeting, and public service delivery. Because they didn't come out to the way he came out to announce those issues. Do you understand? They announced three universities in Togo, five universities in Benin Republic. How? It's okay. Assuming, for instance, now a Ghanaian government will come and say that, oh, in the whole of in Nigeria, only five universities, um, Obafemi Awolowo University, University of Nigeria Nsukka, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, University of Abuja, and University of Lagos. This is the only universities that are being recognized in Nigeria. How will you feel? So no private, all the private university, the best university that we have in Nigeria is a private university. You will not include that university. So how he handled the policy or the issue was one of the reasons why he's out of that administration. Do you understand? So it was not transparently done. So far as I'm concerned, it was not transparently done. And of course, he got his own reward for what he did. So we talk about capacity building. Capacity building. Because we're talking about rebuilding state institution and public trust. So one of the way we can rebuild institution is to also build up the capacity of those institutions, training and development. Yes, invest in training programs for civil servants. Civil servants must be trained and public officials to enhance their skills and ethical standards. Some of you here, nobody sent you on the training, but you're doing it for your own sake and for your own development. Do you understand? People are using the certificate of the institute for their promotional activities in the offices. Do you understand? Yesterday or recent, they sent letters for us to, you know, confirm the certificate that was issued by us. Do you understand? For the purpose of promotion. Do you understand? So we received a letter from one of the government institutions, and we wrote to them confirming the certification. Do you understand? So these are the what this what is involved. So training like this helps to build your capacity, strengthen you, and make you to be active and contribute effectively in your working place. Do you understand? And in your employment. So resource allocation ensure that institutions have the necessary resources to function effectively, both material, financial, and human resources. Let them have enough to be able to do their job well. All right, so that nobody will be overworked, and of course, uh, resources not being strained and all of that. So rule of law and justice. So judicial independence, strengthen the independence of the judiciary to ensure fair and impartial justice, which is crucial for restoring public trust. That's one aspect I'm expecting Tinubu administration to be to be able to overcome to grant the judiciary an independence. And how do we grant judicial independence? The president should stop appointing chief justice or chief judges. Do you understand? Chief justice all the federal uh, court institutions should not be appointed by the executive. Do you understand? The judiciary should have a mechanism for appointing their own leaders by themselves and then sent to the National Assembly for confirmation, and that's all. But when you want the executive to appoint a chief judge, then they are appointing their appointment is to protect their interests of the public. Do you understand? So, and of course, there will be public distrust. So, access to justice, implement measures that provide citizens and then information. And of course, the justice system in our country is also derailed. It's derailed because there are so many cases out there pending that needs to be attended to, but nobody's attending to. We give attention to few cases, most especially political issues, and then leave others to be there, most especially when they are criminal and civil issues. So the security sector reforms, like we have discussed, have also uh, the impact of it. Community policing promotes community-wide oriented policing strategies that prioritize dialogue and partnership between police and local communities. I think we need to work on this. And we have been talking about state policing, and that has not gotten attention yet. So many people are against that, but personally, for one, I am for that. State police. We need to have a state police if we really want to achieve security in our nation. Forget about what the politician will use the state police to do. Forget about that aspect for now, first. All right? We don't care. We don't want to know. But for one, state police will help to bring the desired security in our various states. Forget about the argument that states cannot be able to pay and all of that. Is the federal paying? How many police officers are so doing well in the federal system? So let's stop all those arguments. And in fact, some states will even pay better than even what the federal government is paying them. You understand? So state policing is good. That's my own opinion. I don't know about you. You may have a different opinion. So hold on to your opinion, advance your reasons. But for me, these are my reasons I have stated here now concerning the test policing. So, and I say that is good. All right. So, demilitarization, reduce the presence of military force in civilian areas and focus on training police force to handle public safety effectively. We see we see military are too common in our society. We see them on the street. "Ah, what are you doing? Why all the time? What is the issue? Stay calm when there is a national security issue. We can call you that threaten our sovereignty. Well, we can call you out. But leave the issue of policing to police to do it. You understand? Let the police do their job. See the military doing the job or the police. It's not correct. It's not correct. You understand? Public engagement, consultative what processes. Establish forums of public consultation where citizens can voice their concerns and contribute to policy discussion. We do public hearings, right, on certain policies, but I don't know whether they do it genuinely or for formality. But if there's any public hearing in your state, please, anytime they call, go and attend it so that you can contribute your input. All right. Feedback mechanism, create a channel for feedback for citizens to provide feedback on governance services and initiatives. So feedback can help you to know whether you are doing the right thing or wrong. Although some of the cries, when you know what you need to do and you know that it's for the good of the people, people may not necessarily understand. People may always want the easy way, like the issue of fuel now. People may not understand maybe what people have in mind to do. And so they may feel that this one is too much on us, so we cannot withstand this thing. Do you understand? And so if you listen to this one like this, you may not be able to take certain steps. So sometimes you close your ears and they think it's right for the people. But what we expected the government to have done was to provide public service, transportation service that is so effective to reduce the pains on the people. Do you understand? Yeah, as I can see that some of the federal institutions have vehicles that used to convey their people to and fro and all of that, and I think that is fine. But apart from those people, what about the other people that are not working with the government? So public transportation system needs to be improved so that people can the pains, the impact of the reforms will be reduced. Do you understand? So these are the issues. If there's a train that used to convey people from my area to where I work, why would I be driving to office all the time? You understand? I can enter plane. Boom, I don't enter office. Enter plane, come back. Do you understand? Simple. But it's not working. But we can enter train here. Train shouldn't be difficult, you know. Just to bring rail lines that will work for us. At least interstate intercity transportation system. It can help cities like Abuja. Haba, for goodness sake. Cities like Abuja, no. It's not correct. So economic development, job creation, focus on economic initiatives that provide employment opportunities, particularly for youth, to reduce disenfranchisement and poverty. All right. So that young people can have access to certain opportunities and of course reduce poverty level in the society. Local investment. Local investment, encourage local businesses and infrastructure projects that benefit communities and stimulate economic growth. We need more of Dangote investment. Dangote, so many of them coming up. Manga cement coming up. This one cement coming up. These are the things we need. Do you understand? So that you can encourage economic activities. You know. So local investment is very key. Right? If you can have three more refineries from private individuals, I think it can go a long way to solve a lot of problems in this country. Do you understand? Communication strategy. Public information campaign, implement campaigns to educate citizens about government initiatives, rights, and available services, fostering a more informed populace. Do you understand? So the National Orientation Agency, the Ministry of Information, and all other information channels that need to communicate to people must be used and communicate effectively. And apart from that, communicate the truth, not to use public institution or channel of communication to tell lies to the people, because this can cause disillusion and of course distrust on the government. All right, crisis communication. Develop strategies to address misinformation and build trust during crisis, ensuring the government communicate effectively and transparently. That's what I'm saying. Transparent communication. Don't hide and lie to people. You understand? Even in time of crisis, you should be able to communicate the genuine thing, the truth of things that happen. Cultural sensitivity. Acknowledge Acknowledging grievances, recognize historical grievances and injustice to address underlying tensions and promote reconciliation. Cultural competence are some of the things that needs to be done. Monitoring and evaluation, that is performance metrics. Give them performance metrics. Let's look at what has been achieved, what you have been doing well, and what you're not doing well for uh, for corrections. Public reporting, regularly report on progress and challenges faced by institutions to maintain transparency and accountability. So, on the issue of fuel subsidy, we're supposed to have been receiving a report on what is happening, but we're not getting that report very well. Do you understand? But we're supposed to get constant report on the removal of the subsidy and what the government is doing with the resources they have generated from the renewal of the removal of the subsidy, and the step government is taking to reduce. And of course, make we are talking about CNG, uh, make the CNG stations to be abundantly available so that people can convert. Conversion itself is expensive, but if we have many stations, the conversion rates, the cost of conversion also will reduce. Do you understand? And so, of course, it motivates a lot of people to do it. So these are the things. So international support, partnership with NGOs, international organizations for technical assistance, funding, and capacity building efforts. Do you understand? Best practices. Learn from what successful examples of institutional building in other post-conflict settings to adopt strategies that fit the local context. So, are there any case studies that in the past you have witnessed massive transformation? You can learn from them, domesticate it, and improve on them to fit the national and the local context, and then you go on with what you want. So we have the last topic that we're going to consider here now are the case studies of post-conflict reconstructions. Case studies of what post-conflict reconstruction. So if you're still online with us and you have not shared this meeting with someone, do way to share it with someone, invite them to be part of the training. Also, let them know that they can also participate in this training and benefit from it. You can also like, you can also comment to paraphrase what you are learning from here. All right, so that we know that you are following and following well. And if you have any question, you can also ask in the comment section. We'll look at them and take them later. So we're going to our last topic for today, and which is case studies of post-conflict reconstruction. Case studies of what? Post-conflict reconstruction. We have Bosnia and Herzegovina, that is 1995 to date. Bosnia and what? Herzegovina, 1995 to date. So the context here is that war, all right? There was this Bosnia war that took place some times ago, and then there was an agreement that was reached. We call it the Dayton Agreement, which created a complex political structure to manage ethnic divisions. You know, even if you look at the combination of the country's name, Bosnia and Herzegovina, it is a combination of two different tribes. Do you understand? Or a collection of tribes. So these are the issues. So we're looking at reconstruction efforts, institutions building, establish a multi-ethnic government structure with significant international oversight. So the government was established in such a way that all the ethnic groups have a sense of belonging. They are carried along and all of that. So it's a complex system. Then we'll talk about economic recovery, international aid facilitated infrastructure development and economic stabilization. Yes. So like they were lucky, money that was given to them, they did not eat it. They did not pocket it in their private pockets. They put it in the development of the nation, and today they are a bit stabilized. All right. So challenges. Ethnic tension still remains despite the complex nature of the governance that ensure the ethnic groups are being carried along. There's still ethnic war tension. Corruption is also in the system. And of course, political stagnations are ongoing issues. You understand? So these three issues are still uh, and some of the challenges they are facing there. Ethnic tensions, no, the issue of public trust also is a challenge. So what is the lesson here? The importance of international involvement and the challenges of creating lasting political stability in a divided society is a challenge and the lesson learned. So another example that I want to see is the example of Rwanda. Rwanda in 1994 present situation. Rwanda. So the context here, the Rwanda genocide resulted in massive loss of life and displacement, right? So talk about reconstruction efforts. National Unity and Reconciliation Commission was created. So in Rwanda, after the genocide in 1994 also, a National Unity and Reconciliation Commission was created that tried to reconcile the Tutus and the Hutus and what the Tutsis. Do you understand? So the Hutus and the Tutsis were reconciled and healing took place. And today there is progress in that country. There was what we call the Gakaka Codes, all right? The Gagaka Codes. The Gagaka Codes was a community-based code facilitated justice and accountability for genocide crimes, right? So when the Gagaka Code was created, the essence was to facilitate what justice and accountability for genocide crimes. Those that committed crime of genocide, they pay for it. They were held accountable. They were held accountable, and of course, uh, progress has been made in terms of economic development with a focus on agriculture, infrastructure, and technology. And today, Rwanda is experiencing economic growth because they were able to reconcile themselves. That is what we need to do in this country. Like in Nigeria, for instance, that's what we need. I am saying it again and again that we need a true national reconciliation. And if we get the right opportunity and the right influence, we can call for national reconciliation. Because we cannot just call it, if we say now that, okay, we are Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, we'll call for national reconciliation, it will not work well. We will not achieve the desired result, but we need the right connections, the right network, and the right attention from certain governments. Once we get that, it's possible. So if government will not cooperate until we get to a point where we can cooperate, we will cooperate. We need national reconciliation, but we'll continue to talk about it. In every opportunity we get, we'll talk about it until maybe it gets to those that matters. Or we can still do a proposal, or we can do a documentary and send to those that cares or those that matters to be able to respond to and call for national reconciliation or create a national reconciliation commission and then address. We have something similar, but it's not really working the way it did not work well. It did not work well. So we need to do it the right way. So success, what happened when Rwanda did this? What is the success? Rapid economic recovery and improvement in governance, though challenges such as political repression, of course, repression, because Kagame has been there for how many years now? He repress decent voices. Anything that want to oppose him, he bring you down first, keep you, silence you, and make sure that you continue there. And he has been there for how many years now? Close to 30 years back for Kagame, right? And limited freedom persists. Limited freedom persists. Limited freedom persists. I remember of a lady who was opposing him, and I think that lady was suddenly died, and questions were raised why the lady died. You understand? So if you are in Rwanda and talking, and if you believe what I'm saying, you can comment here and let us know more about it. You understand? I know some people from Rwanda joined this training. So you can affirm to what I'm saying here. There was a lady that was opposing for Kagame, and somehow, the lady died, and there were questions that were raised concerning that lady's death. And so it's part of those things that we're talking about here. Do you understand? So what is the lessons here? But generally, on a general note, they were able to recover from what happened, and then you know take steps to rebuild. And of course, Rwanda is doing well to some extent, only in few aspects. The usual political issues and the issue of freedom that we talk about. So lessons, the role of community engagement and reconciliation, and the importance of addressing underlying grievances, because they created a code that was a community-based code called the Gagaka. Do you understand? The Gakaka. So that is it. So the code was a community-based code. So you can see how the involvement of community can bring massive results in terms of reconstruction and rebuilding, right? So South Africa in 1994, the present context transitioned from apartheid to a democratic state after decades of racial conflict. So what happened here? Reconstruction efforts. What is the reconstruction effort? The Truth and Reconciliation Commission. They did what Rwanda did as well. And then it addressed human rights abuses and promoted national hearings. You understand? That's what that commission did. Promoted national hearings and then addressed human rights abuses. And then what happened? National building policies focus on socio-economic development, particularly for marginalized communities. That's what Mandela did and set a base. And today, as South Africa is one of the best economies in Africa. Do you understand? Best economies in Africa. All right. So challenges, persistent inequality, corruption, and economic disparities remain significant issues in South Africa. Right. Lessons, the need for comprehensive reforms across political, economic, and social dimensions to ensure lasting change. So they still need that, right? They still need that a comprehensive reform. Mandela did a lot, but more is expected to be done. The Iraq 2003 present Iraq contest, following the US-led invasion and subsequent insurgency, Iraq faced severe instability. Right? So reconstruction efforts, institution building, efforts to establish democratic institutions and rebuild the security sector, economic initiative focus on oil revenue management and infrastructure development, challenges sectarian violence, corruption, and the rise of extremist groups have hindered progress. So Iraq is still struggling, even politically. Do you understand? Today I read that the former president wife, Imam, Imam Khan or whatever, Iran or whatever, his wife has been released from prison. But I think he himself is still in prison also. Do you understand? So there are still political issues and political instabilities in Iran, in Iraq rather. So the lesson complexities of nation building, the complexities of nation building in a context of deep sectarian divisions and the limitation of external intervention without local buy-in. So we'll talk about Liberia. Liberia 2003 present. Context civil wars from 1989 to 2003 left the country in ruins. So much destruction. So much destruction. Charles Taylor people. So much destruction, right? Charles Taylor. So reconstruction effort, post-conflict governance, establish a transitional government and held democratic elections. International support received significant UN and international aid for rebuilding infrastructure and institutions. Youth engagement programs aim at reintegrating former combatants and empowering youth. Success improves security and governance, though economic challenges and corruption still persist. Yes, Liberia has thrived in some certain areas, but of course the issue of economic growth has been a challenge, and of course corruption is also in the system. So I'll talk about the lessons, the importance of addressing youth discontent and ensuring inclusive governance. Help them, all right. So the effort they made to bring the youth into perspective helped to reduce the challenges. Then Sierra Leone 2002 to present context a brutal civil war characterized by significant violence and human rights abuses. Reconstruction effort, Truth and Reconciliation Commission addressed the legacy of violence and promoted healings. Decentralization empowered local governments governance structure to ensure accountability and citizen participation. Economic recovery has been slow, and corruption remains a significant obstacle. Lessons, the critical role of local governance in rebuilding trust and ensuring community involvement in the reconstruction process. So, so Sierra Leone also has been able to navigate some of the challenges it faced after the civil war, right? But there are still some of those issues that are still effective. So this is the much we are going to cover today. Tomorrow, I hope all of us have gotten the study manual that I sent. We'll still add like two modules. Like we have tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. So we still have like two modules to cover before we now call it, uh, you know, we'll call it uh, over. So we have um, we have like 6 days training to cover all that we need to cover. But let's see how it goes. It may not be up to, but we have definitely two modules to add to the manual so that it can be a complete manual. All right. So two modules that will start tomorrow. So we concluded module 6 today. Do wait to if you the next training that is coming up, we have the link available. You can share the link to your friends, your loved ones, your colleagues, your students. Let them also be part of the training that is coming up next month. We want to see thousands of people register for that training as much as possible because that is one of our core training, peace and conflict management. So we want to see a lot of people join that training. So please help us to distribute that link, share it with your contact, share with at least 10 people, let them participate in the upcoming training. Please, we are begging you to help us to do this because that is the core. The core is a core training, it's a core course, conflict, peace and conflict management. And so we expect people to come in. And because that one, we're also going to involve a practical training, what we call the role playing in conflict resolution. So you play a role, and then after the training, we'll do role playing reconciliation. It's a kind of simulation. Do you understand? So please, it's going to be more practical. So invite people to be part of that training, and that will be good for us. Thank you very much for being part of the training, and I know that you're not wasting your time. Of course, be reading the manual immediately after our training. By first week, the first Saturday of November, you are going to write your examination. First Saturday of November, you are going to write your examination. So do wait to start reading ahead of time. All right. So thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow by 7:30 p.m. By 7 p.m. rather. See you by 7 p.m. tomorrow. No question. Thank you very much. Sarah, you're saying you have not received the manual. Okibe Sarah, I have not received the manual. Okay, you check in our WhatsApp group and then you get the manual there. The manual is in our WhatsApp group. Thank you very much. Check our WhatsApp group, you find the manual there. Someone is saying that there's a question here. Okonkwo is asking, you have been saying national reconciliation. What about 2014 national conference? Conference, it's a conference now. national national conference was not a national reconciliation commission. No, the work of a national reconciliation commission is more than just selecting a few individuals to come and sit there and to just argue on certain things. No, 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 no. This one is not. This National Reconciliation Commission is a fact finding commission. Fact finding commissions. So it brings people to come and express their feeling, how they feel, and the experience they went through, and then promoted a process of healing and say, okay, despite all of this, we can still move together and embrace and then move on. National conference was a different, in fact, it was, and it cannot hold ground, cannot hold ground because it's not, it was politically motivated and it didn't work out well. Although they came up with some nice suggestion, but it's not a national reconciliation. National conference was just something on a different level. All right, thank you very much. Good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.